Topic videos: Applicability Determination for On-Road Mobile Source Emissions Measure. The Federal Highway Administration, FHWA, has established applicability determination processes for the performance measures related to the Congestion, Mitigation, and Air Quality Improvement (CMAQ) program, on-road mobile source emissions and traffic congestion. The applicability determination processes arise from the Federal Transportation Performance Management Rule related to system performance, also known as PM3. The applicability determinations describe whether state departments of transportation, DOTs, or metropolitan planning organizations, MPOs, are subject to that performance measure. You may be wondering what steps and information go into the applicability determination process, as well as how the determinations affect a DOT or MPO. In this video, we'll focus on the applicability determination for the on-road mobile source emissions performance measure for both state DOTs and MPOs. If you're interested in information about the applicability determination for the traffic congestion performance measure, please review the video on that topic. To address the applicability determination for the on-road mobile source emissions performance measure, we'll provide answers to these questions. How is applicability determined for the on-road mobile source emissions measure for state DOTs and MPOs? What actions are required from state DOTs and MPOs if the emissions performance measure applies? And how does the determination fit with planning and the Transportation Performance Management (TPM) timeline for state DOTs and MPOs? Let's begin with a few key definitions involved with the applicability determination for this measure. The first key term is urbanized area, often referred to as a UZA. The FHWA defines UZAs as census-designated urban areas with 50,000 residents or more. A transportation management area, or TMA, is a UZA with a population over 200,000 designated by the Secretary of Transportation. The final key term is nonattainment or maintenance. These are status designations related to the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA's, determination of an area's air quality. Non-attainment area refers to a geographic area with monitored air quality that does not meet the National Ambient Air Quality Standards, or NAAQS, for specified air pollutants. Maintenance area refers to a former non-attainment area that has taken successful measures to improve the air quality, and which has then been redesignated as an attainment area but remains subject to a maintenance plan. Now that we've defined these key terms, let's move on to the applicability determination. Our first question is, how is applicability determined for the on-road mobile source emissions performance measure? The emissions measure is applicable to all states and MPOs, with projects financed with funds from the CMAQ program in areas designated non-attainment or maintenance for ozone, carbon monoxide, or particulate matter (NAAQS). If the state or MPO does not contain any portions of non-attainment or maintenance areas for any of the pollutants listed above, it is not subject to the emissions measure. On to our second question. What actions are required from state DOTs and MPOs to which the emissions performance measure applies? Applicable state DOTs are required to establish targets and report on the on-road mobile source emissions measure for each of the applicable criteria pollutants and precursors. The state DOT must set targets for 2 and 4 years at the time it submits the baseline report per the TPM timeline, just as is done for a number of other performance measures. However, unlike some other performance measures, FHWA will not use these targets to assess whether significant progress has been achieved regarding emissions. Actions required of applicable MPOs for the on-road mobile source emissions measure vary based on the population of the Transportation Management Area, TMA. An MPO with any part of a non-attainment or maintenance area within its boundary that overlaps any urbanized area, UZA, with a population above 1 million must set both quantifiable 2- and 4-year targets for their metropolitan planning area and develop a CMAQ performance plan. The MPOs that have non-attainment or maintenance areas but do not overlap a UZA with a population above 1 million must only set 4-year targets and can decide to set their own or support their state's target. In all cases, MPO target setting should be well coordinated with the relevant state DOTs. Our third and final question is, how does the determination fit with planning and the Transportation Performance Management (TPM) timeline for state DOTs and MPOs? The FHWA made its first CMAQ measure applicability determination based on the information available on October 1, 2017, and will do so every 4 years thereafter. These determinations will be based on U.S. EPA's non-attainment and maintenance designations as of 1 year before the state's baseline performance period report is due to FHWA. Also at this time, population for urbanized areas will be determined based on the most recent U.S. Census data. What happens with changes in non-attainment and maintenance status? If an area is no longer in non-attainment or maintenance for a criteria pollutant on the date 1 year before the mid-performance period progress report is due, FHWA will revise the applicability determination for the affected states and MPOs. For the first performance period, FHWA will make this adjustment based on the information as of October 1, 2019. Areas newly designated as non-attainment are not added at the midpoint, but will be considered at the next applicability determination. That's it! Applicability determination for the On-Road Mobile Source Emissions Performance Measure. This process ensures that state DOTs and MPOs, where the On-Road Mobile Source Emissions Performance Measure applies, are assigned to take the appropriate actions. This is one of the ways accountability is built into performance management. Increasing the accountability and transparency of the Federal Aid Highway Program helps to promote better project decision-making through performance-based planning and programming. By doing this, you will deliver transportation projects that are necessary and that help to bring greater safety, health, and economic vitality to your community. Download the companion resource with helpful references on applicability determination for the On-Road Mobile Source Emissions Measure at www.fhwa.dot.gov/tpm/videos. Working together, we can provide strategies to improve our nation and people's lives through great transportation planning.